Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dimitri's Cinema. I'm your host, Dimitri, and hope everybody had a good week so far going into the weekend. Today, we're going to talk about Scream 7 and Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. Um, Actually, revealing to Dr. Doom. So, I got information about the Scream 7 movie. I don't know how y'all feel about the Scream franchise. Uh, Scream 1, iconic, first came out. Drew Barrymore, beginning of the scene. Of course, the killer's like taunting with her, asking her questions and putting her in her scared mode. And at some point, she realizes that it's a killer on the phone talking to her, or actual killer, not nobody playing around. So things get serious and heated up. Popcorn starts cooking. Fire gets catches on the stove, and she's the other second she's running for her life. The killer gets inside. She's running. He kills her. That when you know the franchise was going to be, which we didn't know at the time it was going to be a franchise. You just knew the movie was going to be pretty interesting, And throughout the movie, Sidney Prescott was played by Nev Campbell. She's the target, and was the victim, and the killer's after her, which ends up being her personal boyfriend, Billy Loomis. Uh, Billy's a psychotic killer who having problems with his mother, his father, and it's somewhere involved is Sydney's father and Billy's mother, and which makes Billy Loomis. Then he's accomplished. His partner is forget the kid's name that he's played. Stewie is his partner. They're in high school together, whatever, and they go on a killing spree together. And then by the end of the movie, she finds out the killer is him because he reveals himself. Stewie reveals himself. They at Stewie's house, and all the pieces come together. Her brain opens up, and all the stuff he starts saying, and this and that, and she's like, "Wow, I've been a fool all this time. You've killed all my friends, and you've been trying to kill me." You know, but of course, she gets that woman superhero mentality and goes into "you're not gonna kill me" mode. No, um, you know, Sydney's tougher than leather skin. You know, so of course, she at the end of the movie she takes down the killers. Her and uh, Courtney Cox, who's Gail Weathers, and they come together. They take down the killers together. And then you have David Arquette, who is Dewey. He uh he helps out or whatever, and he tries to help out, and you got this happily ever after. But then goes boop, part two. The killing stage is not over, and the Scream franchise is based off of people copycatting other people who was original. So the original killers were uh Stewie and uh Billy Loomis. It goes all the way down to Scream 6, which goes all the way back to the original killers. So you have copycat killers in each movie. Boom, boom, have their reasons why they killed and been trying to get Sidney Prescott because always end Sidney Prescott always ended up being in the middle of the main reason. And part two, you had the two killers, a mother, Billy Loomis' mother, and a student of um that was in classes with Sidney Prescott, And those two, do their thing during the movie. By the end of it, Sydney takes them down along with Gail Weathers, and that's that. Me in the meanwhile, Cotton Weary, who's a accused killer, he's accused of killing Sydney's mother, when the whole time it was Billy Loomis. He was locked up this whole time, and then in part two, he gets out and he's trying to you know talk with Sydney and let her know, hey, I didn't kill your people, but we can get into on TV with I can't think of the famous TV star host who interviews people or whatever. He's trying to do a big deal with her, and to do the deal, he has to get Sydney on his side to do it with him. And it's Diane Sawyer. So that's the woman he's trying to do the deal with, the interview. So at some point, she realizes, by the end of the movie, she realizes that Cotton Weary isn't the killer. So, because he helps her take down the actual killers, which is Billy Loomis's mother, and there's this, her sidekick, which was Sydney's classmate or whatever. Then it goes into Scream 3, you know, where at the beginning of the movie, Cotton Weary gets killed finally. And then it ends up being Sydney's brother who's the killer, who goes on a killing spree and does, and each franchise goes on. And you have four, then you have five, then you have the end of it, which was six. By the end of six, the franchises are all start revolving around Billy Loomis's daughter from five to six. Five, Billy Loomis' daughter and her sister are in danger from the killer, who's a copycat, who's going after them, which ends up being her boyfriend in five, and a friend of hers that she was in school with. Then six goes into um, there in New York. The sister goes to school, gets going to school in New York, transfers from um, the town that they were in, um, goes to New York, and her sister moves out there with her. They have an apartment together. Her sister gets a job, and she's protective over her little sister, so she wants to be with her wherever she goes. Her little sister was wanting to pursue her degree and her career and move on with her life, but she goes along with her, and she doesn't understand why her big sister's dragging her, you know, and her problems, trying to follow her at the same time. But they're sisters, so it works out at some point. And then here goes the newest copycat killers. So that how that Gail Weathers back involved in it, and she's a victim, ends up being a victim. I don't think she dies in this movie. I think she actually lives, but she's carted off into the hospital at the end of the movie, so it didn't work out really good for her. She ends up having another boyfriend because Dewey died in part five. He ends up getting killed in part five, and but they had already had broken up from then anyway. But she has some young guy. Of course, he's muscle bound, but they can't protect her, and he gets killed. So she ends up toughing out more than him, through the movie, and she survives at the very end. But the killer at Scream Six is um, Billy Loomis's daughter's boyfriend was the killer in five, and six, it was Billy Loomis's daughter's boyfriend's father and sister and brother were all like, so it was the family killers in part six. So Billy Loomis's daughter's boyfriend, father is a cop, policeman, and Scream 6. And he gets a hold of them, and they got a family plan to kill them, to take them out because they killed their son. So it goes on through the movie, and they had me fooled on that one. That was actually a pretty good, like, cover up because normally in these Scream movies, you can pick who the killer is at this point, at some point, because you're like, even at the I got to a point at some of the beginning of the movies, I was like, oh, it's them. Oh, it's her boyfriend. Oh, it's that girl. You can just tell these things now because you're so used to it, and then in the different movies that you can pick up. Some people are just naturally gifted like that. They can, watch a killer movie or something, which is suspicious killer movie, and they can pick out who the people is. By the movie, they end up being right. They just talented at that. And some people, you need bigger clues and try to, you know, push together to figure out who the killer is or whatever. But Scream, if you've seen so many of them from one to at least four, you can pick out who the killer is by then. It's not hard. So anyway, Scream 7 is supposed to be based off of Sidney Prescott's daughter. She's in the center of it. And, of course, Sidney Prescott, the daughter, lives with Sidney. Sidney's back. Nev Campbell's back. Sidney Prescott. And the killer, I guess, here comes copycat killers again. And they're trying to take down Sidney Prescott and her daughter. And Sidney's trying to protect her daughter. And I don't know where the movie's going to be based at. I doubt it's New York. Um, and I don't think it's the town. I can't think of the name of the town from Scream that they were in, the school and all of that. I don't think it's based off there because Sydney moved and she had two kids, I think twins in part. In Scream 5, she had like twins. And because she had came back when she heard Dewey died, she came back. She ended up helping Gail take down the killers in Scream 5. But I don't know what the locate. I keep researching, keep trying to pull up stuff and the script and pull up the interviews with the producers and stuff that are working on the project to see where the location is, but they haven't revealed that yet. So hold tight. I'll probably end up doing another stream on that. But yeah, so Scream 7 is coming. I found it pretty interesting because I thought at the 6, I thought the very end of the end of the end was Billy Loomis's daughter. And I thought once that was done, the franchise is over because he's the original killer. So it went all the way down to 6 movies, which end up leading back to the original killer, which is parts of it his daughter, based on his daughter. So once she takes the very end of the killers out, I'm figuring, hey, this movie isn't this franchise is done. Well, I was wrong. Just like I'd be wrong with these Harry Potter movies. So therefore, I think that and there is no telling how many of these screens they're going to keep doing. I think they can keep the franchise pushing. At some point, I'm guessing maybe Sydney's going to die, but she survived 7 movies. She's like Jason in her own movie, So I don't know. Uh, you know, at some point, at some age, the franchise pushes, and they might push towards different characters to move on with the franchise. And because I'm assuming Sydney is not going, she can't keep, she's not going to probably keep doing Scream movies. These are the movies. These are the movies I only really seen her in. Other than I think she did. Other than the TV show she was in, and she was in a movie called Wild Things. Back in the day, and that was an interesting movie. But I don't remember him being in big roles and other big time movies. other than Scream. So she's older now. So at some point, they're going to stop it. But as long as people keep paying money for it, why not? You know, don't don't you can't fix what's not broken. So Scream 7, you guys look into it. Tell me what y'all think. Somebody gets better information and finds bigger things out. Come on this stream and hit me up. Also subscribe, by the way, before I forget. But yeah, so that's that. Now, Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. I'm a big comic book fan. For the people that don't know too much about me, I've always been a huge comic book fan. So all these Marvel movies that they came out with, I've already known about the character, just like every Marvel fan before they came out. A lot of people find out about the movies and find out about these iconic characters through just watching the movies that come out with it. They never know about the comics. And then some people, you got which is the other half, were comic book fans as far as DC and Marvel, and been fans since the comic books were being made and know about it already, these characters, before they put it on big screen. So do you have, of course, you have the comic book fans who, if they already know about the character before they put it on a big screen, they're expecting the character to be a certain way because they know how they were in the comic books. Certain things about the character, they know how they were in the comic books. Think about the movie cinema, productions and movie productions and directors and stuff. They can change and tweak different things. So if you're not a fan of the comic books, never knew about the character, you're not going to know what they tweaked. I give you a example. Spider-Man. When Spider-Man first came out, Tobey Maguire played Peter Parker, Spider-Man. That Sam Raimi, that Spider-Man. He shoot his webs through his hands. They came through his hands. Well, if you didn't know about Spider-Man in the comic books, you would know that's 100% wrong. That's BS. That's not true. In the comic books, Peter Parker was very smart. He was in the laboratory working with people through his school. He was at a school trip or whatever. He went to some building, science building or whatever. I don't know, if science fair, or whatever. And that's where he got bit by a spider because spider got into radiation that they were showing, and the spider jumped on Peter and bit him. Therefore, he became Spider-Man. Had the abilities of a radioactive spider who can do all kind of superhuman natural abilities. But he was already smart, borderline genius smart. So he knew how to do certain things that a lot of people couldn't do. So when he became Spider-Man, he started building certain things, testing around certain things that would help him with his upcoming as Spider-Man. You know, and one of the things he did was he built web slingers. Web slingers with these, I think they were like maybe metallic web slingers that went around his wrist that he could shoot like a certain formula, something thing that came out of his web slinger that would turn into this web that was like almost indestructible, hard to break, hard to rip through, tear, whatever. But he did that in a movie. They made it come out of Peter Parker's arm automatically. Like that was part of his power. No, that wasn't. Nope. X-Men, Wolverine. Everybody know the iconic Wolverine, my favorite Marvel character of all time. Love Wolverine. We all know in the comic books, in the movies, his claws came through when he made a fist, came through his bone claws came through this way, 2, 3. In the comic books, he had these metal. Now they fixed this in Wolverine and Deadpool. But in the comic books, he had these metal three metal things that they came claws came through, like I don't know, like metal little like small metal things that the claws were able to come through. But anyway, in the first move in the X-Men movies and then in the Wolverine movies, they just came through his fists, like right through, through his fingers balled up this way. No, that wasn't Wolverine. So a lot of things that they changed uh when it came to Marvel or whatever, uh that you have to be a comic book fan to know about certain things about that character. Because if you're walking into the franchise blind, you're not gonna know unless somebody tells you. So anyway, Doctor Doom, this based another multi universe from what I'm hearing. Um, Apparently, how they supposed to be doing it is Victor Doom, Tony Stark. How they gonna put this together is Tony Stark. It was never really Tony Stark. He was actually Victor Doom in another universe, and then I don't know. I don't even want to try to explain that. I'm just gonna forget it, man. Look, man. I think the idea of uh, Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom is phenomenal. If they would have, here's my part. This is where I get so nauseous with Marvel and Hollywood stuff they do. You got this multi-universe thing. Y'all all know I'm not. If you watch my streams before, I'm not with that. I I, I hate it. I they make a movie, they think it's bad, they make it again, and then it's bad again. Then they make it again, and then they dismiss the person that played the character and make a new person to play the character and start all over from the original franchise of the movie as if those movies didn't exist. That's where I hate Hollywood. That's where I hate that Marvel does. In this case, Robert Downey Jr. did a hell of a job as Tony Stark. One of the one of the best projects he's ever done. We all know he's been Chaplin. He's been in several movies, the, the comedy movies. He's been in a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. 80s iconic figure because he whipped the 80s ass in those movies. He's been in a lot Weekend at Bernie's, all the stuff he's done. Um, so he's a great actor. He's a great actor. You can't take that away from him. Even with his funny sense of humor, he's a great actor. The problem is he did Tony Stark for Iron Man when they start casting up and single movies to wind up to the Avengers first movie when they did the Hulk first movie, 1, 2, whatever. Then they did Iron Man. Then they did a Captain America movie. Then they did a single Thor movie. And it all led up to that first Avengers movie, which is how they supposed to have did. They introduced the characters in the single movies to the group Avengers, which is the biggest movie we've all Marvel characters been looking for. Okay, no problem. Problem is he played Iron Man and he did a great job at it, playing Tony Stark. So one thing I hate is when they do an actor to play two characters in the Marvel universe for the Marvel cinema for these Marvel movies. No, you don't do that, man. Okay, it's one thing is Marvel and DC, which Ryan Reynolds did, Deadpool and Green Lantern, whatever. But don't do Marvel and Marvel. Don't do that. And the problem with this is he would be really good as Doctor Doom. He's going in the movie that they're making. He's going to be. Don't get. understand what I'm saying, but don't take me and not, push uh Robert Downey Jr. away for giving him a chance as Doctor Doom. I think he's gonna do extremely well. I think he's I would my problem is I just wish he didn't do Tony Stark before he did Doom. Because I don't believe in doing I just don't like them doing both. You know what I mean? So and the problem is he's gonna do good at both. That's a problem too. It's like that's why I can't like get away from it. It's like, but he is gonna do good at it. So I guess that kind of makes up for the whole problem of it being don't ever do actor for two characters in the same universe. Don't do that, So, but I just don't like that. I don't agree with that. I feel like he done did Tony Stark. Leave him at that. You know what I mean? Let him be a legend at that character. Don't bring him as another character because you qualifying us to. You basically telling us we're just machines and robots, and we would need to think what you're doing and don't think about what was done in the past. No, it's reality. We see he was this character. You can't erase our brain. Almost as bad as John Carpenter saying, "Oh, all them 8 Halloween movies that were done, disqualified. They were never done. These new Halloween movies are being done after the first original 1978 Halloween movie." No, you can't do that. All them other Halloween movies down the line was made. Busta Rhymes existed in it. LL Cool J existed in it. You can't do that. So you can't do that with this. It's like, yo, he was Iron Man already, and he did a heck of a job at that. You can't do that. Get another person to play Doom. Hey, you know who I think would be a great Doom? Whether y'all agree or not, Vin Diesel. He's been wanting to be in the Marvel universe for years now. You know what I mean? Fast and the Furious. He turned into a grandpa in Fast and the Furious now. He's getting older. He wants another project now. He made a heck of a lot of money off the Fast franchise because he's executive producer, co-producer, whatever, and he's an iconic figure in that. He made the movie, but he made the franchise. He helped make that franchise for his iconic character. But he wants to be. He's spoken about it plenty of times in plenty of interviews where he would love to be a Marvel character. That's why he took on the role as the Bloodshot because he wanted to do some type of superhero movie at some point. I think he would be a great Doom. He's older. He's he's still a big physical dude. You know what I mean? You don't have to buff up the suit too much. Just put him in metal, and I think he would do good. He's got that voice. Where he's quarter bottle at a time. Anything less. You know what I mean? Like he's got that iconic voice. So it's more to that character and just having the mask on. So he has a legendary voice that can go with that. I think he would be a good Doom. I think he would be a very good Doom. When my brother was talking about this earlier, he thinks The Rock would be a good Doom. Uh, Rock's too big pound. I just now I mean that's how he feels. Y'all might like him too as Doom. I don't think so. I'd rather see Vin Diesel as Doom. Uh, and Fantastic Four movie, I read that it's supposed to be the same. Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is going to be in the new Fantastic movies too. So don't panic. I think they're just pretty much trying to start him off with Avengers because in the comic books he's also went up against Avengers too. People don't know that. That's why I say you got to be a comic book fan to see these Marvel movies and understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Because you could detail everything in there that's not good or that wasn't from the original of the book. Uh, that's the only thing I have with this, man. You know what I mean? Like in this multi-universe stuff, trying to make stuff work, it's still doing it. And you know, if you guys don't say nothing about it and like put your feelings in about certain movies that are done like that, they're not going to see. You know, eventually they don't. Technically, they don't care. But if nobody expresses their feelings about excuse me, what they do with these movies when they do that, they really not gonna care. So you got people that like that. You got people that don't care, and you got people like me that do care that just don't like it because you're so big on Hollywood and movies and film. You're not gonna, you're gonna critique stuff like that, and it's gonna be a big factor in your world. It's a big factor in my world. So that's the only problem I have with this Doom movie. Um, I think it's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be good. He's gonna do a good job because Robert Downey Jr. always do a good job. And if you know Doom in the comic books and Iron Man in the comic books, and you've seen Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man in the film, you get a good idea what you're gonna get from Robert Downey Jr. as Doom on film. He nailed it. He nailed it on and Iron Man. I think he's gonna nail it again in Doomsday. So I mean, do I like it? This upcoming project, Doomsday. Yes. Do I like Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom? Yes. Do I think they should have did put Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom? No, because he's already been Tony Stark. Now, if he wasn't Tony Stark, hell yes, 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 yes. Like I said, those of you know who Doctor Doom is in the comic books and know his character and knew how he was in the comic book, you'd be like, everybody would be like raising their hand up too. So Hollywood, do what you do. You're gonna do what you do. Uh, there were people out there that could have played Doom though. I feel like there were people out there that could have been Iron Man. But Tony Stark, uh, Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark set the bar way up here. So you would have had to have another equal uh actor to be able to raise the bar like that. Maybe what's his face? I can't even think of this dude's name. Pirates of the Caribbean. The actor, I can't think of his name. Jack Sparrow. Um, he would have been great. As Tony Stark, I think he would have done a great job as Tony Stark. Um, you got, I think Leonardo DiCaprio would have been great as Tony Stark. Um, you got a lot of people out there that could have pulled it. You know, so yeah, that's that. Doomsday coming out. It's they got Marvel's got a lot of projects coming up. If just in case y'all don't know, two Avengers movies. Um, you have Captain America, uh, another Captain America movie with Anthony Mackie. Um, you have another Black Panther movie coming up. Another potential X-Men movie coming up. Oh, Blade. Uh, they're talking and talks about bringing Daredevil to back to big screen. No, Ben Affleck went and play. They're not bringing him back to play Daredevil. Uh, another. I think somebody said something about another Punisher movie. I read about. There's a lot of movies Marvel is getting ready to push out. You know, um, Disney's made so much money right now. They got Hakuna Matata, Mufasa coming out. Oh, Johnny Depp was the dude I was trying to think of. By the way, sorry about that. Had a brain fart. Couldn't, old age. Um, yeah, Disney with Marvel was one heck of a team up because Disney's going to make money regardless, and they already stupidly billionaire, billionarily. That's my word. Rich. And then they teamed up with Marvel when they did, and it was like when 50 Cent uh bought a certain percentage of vitamin water. He was already good here. He just went all the way up here. So yeah, get ready. Avengers Doomsday. Not exactly sure when they're expecting a release date. All that information will come back out soon. And once I get my part, I'll come back on here and talk about it with you guys. So I have a cousin that wanted me to do a small take on a movie called For Christmas because that's one of his favorite movies. And well, I like it, but I'm not big on Christmas movies. But it is a pretty decent movie. And one of the reasons why he wanted me to do a take on it, I told him a story about I used to work at the Hilton in North Carolina for a long time, and I met some of the actors that came in there, and one of the actors I met was Vince Vaughn, and Vince Vaughn is like one of the nicest the that I've met, nicest Hollywood actor, whatever that I've ever met in my life. A lot of them are stuck up. A lot of them are just don't want to be bothered. A lot of them are just don't really have personalities other than their actor personalities to what you see on film. Vince Vaughn was really cool. I took a room service up to him, and for like a whole week he was there. They were filming a movie called Domestic Disturbance in Wilmington, North Carolina, and John Travolta. If you don't know about the movie, John Travolta plays a father of a kid. Vince Vaughn plays the stepfather, the evil stepfather of John Travolta's kid, and he's married to John Travolta's ex-wife, which is kid's mother. And Steve Buscemi is actually in it too. And you know, Vince Vaughn kills Steve Buscemi and goes on his crazy stepfather demented deal. And by the end of the movie, of course, the kid's trying to persuade John Travolta that his stepdad's evil. He don't want to be there with his stepdad and his mother. His mother don't believe the kid. By the end of the movie, they both end up believing, and John Travolta's fighting for his life and his kid, and end up taking Vince Vaughn down. But it's a good movie or whatever. They filmed it in Wilmington. So Vince Vaughn was staying at the hotel I worked at the Hilton, and I was taking room services up to him. I had funny conversations with him about working with Jennifer Lopez in the movie The Cell. Asked him about that, and funny thing is one of the things an actor loves that you can do if you want to impress them is when you meet them and you bring up any film in the movies that they were in, bring up the least role they had in the least movie, and they'll believe that you one of their biggest fans ever. I brought up uh, Jurassic Park: The Lost World because he played a photographer in that movie in The Lost World. He was the photographer, and when they went on the island and all that stuff, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, that's what, yeah, I played, yeah, you like that?" He was impressed, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you played this photographer, blah blah blah, whatever." So we got along really good each day. Sometime in the morning between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., he was ordering room service, and I was taking it up to him, and he tipped really good, but um something happened, and he invited me out one night with him and Steve Buscemi and the dude, whoever the guy is that played Ralphie in the original Christmas Story. He was there, and I think he had some part in the movie. I can't remember what part he had, or he was just with them. I don't know, but he invited me out downtown to a bar with them, and I didn't go out like that. I wasn't that type at the time, so I was younger, you know, and I was like, yeah, 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 okay, yeah, I'll go, whatever, just meet us down there. I never went. So the next day, he ordered room service, and he looked rough when I took it to him. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He was like, "Oh man, you better be glad you didn't come." I apologized to him, like, "Hey man, I'm sorry I didn't come. I had some stuff come up, whatever." He was like, "Nah, nah, you're good. Good thing you didn't come, because hey, we got into a fight. Steve Buscemi got stabbed and got arrested." I was like, "What?" And it was a bar. It was a bar called Fire Bellies. They went to. I know the bar, and he told me, he was like, "Yeah, we was down there. It got it's all over the news or whatever." It's a good thing I didn't, because the Hilton, you can't fraternize with employees, and you can't, ask for autographs or any of that stuff. It's automatic determinations in the handbook. If they would have seen that, well, they would have seen, because they knew about him getting arrested with Steve Buscemi and all that. My name would have put in there, and I would have got fired. So I was like, I'm glad I didn't. He's like, I got you. I'm glad you didn't come either, man. I'm sorry, this and that, whatever. Vince Vaughn is a really, really cool guy, really legit. So, I support him. You know what I mean? Like, he's been nice to me, whatever. And he was in the movie for Christmas. And when I told my cousin that story, he brought that movie up and was like, "Man, should talk about that, this and that, whatever." So I'll talk about it. I won't watch it again before I talk about it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's an old movie. But yeah, I'll go watch it again. It brings back good memories. And John Farrell and Vince Vaughn, and it's really good comedy or whatever. But it's a good movie. But if you had never seen it before in your life and you're looking for a Christmas movie, watch that. So anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. So you guys write in the comments what you think, subscribe, and have a good weekend. And I'll see you next time. When I next time on here. Hopefully we'll have some more better news about Scream. I'll have some more better news about Scream 7. And may help me, maybe even Doomsday. But I'll be back on here with another stream. So you guys have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good day.